Greetings, everybody. This is the Starving Martian, and today we're taking a look at Dinosaurs Attack, issue number 3 by IDW Comics. Alright, so if you've been paying attention, if you've been following along, in the end of our last issue, dinosaurs were spreading out across the world, appearing at random wherever they felt like, all because of Dr. Elias Thorne's time scan device, which was supposed to open up a window that allows us to see into the past, but instead opened up a doorway that allowed the past to come and invade us. And now dinosaurs are indeed attacking, popping up, devouring whoever they find. If you missed the last couple of reviews, just click on my name, Starving Martian. You'll find a complete playlist for Dinosaurs Attack, including the comic books and the trading cards. But let's move on, shall we, with issue number 3. This is the first completely original issue, by which I mean the first issue of IDW's Dinosaur Attacks was a reprint of a previous comic put out in the 80s that never got concluded. Issue number 2 was half old and half new, so issue number 3 is completely new material. And when I say new, I mean it was actually published 5 years ago, but you follow me. So we'll pull back so you can see the cover. And eagle-eye viewers, or those with a decent memory, will note this is almost exactly the same cover as we saw on issue number 1. That's because my copy of issue number 1 comes from the original Eclipse comics, and this is the cover they used for that. When they reprinted it for IDW, they made a new cover for issue number 1, which sadly I do not have, cannot show, and they used this for issue number 3. Now, why they didn't just use this for issue number 1 and the new one for number 3 is beyond me. Possibly to get Dinosaurs Attack completists to have to buy both issues. But since the interior is the same, I haven't bothered. Alright, so enough then looking at covers we've seen already. Let's delve into the story itself. As always, that nice image of the dinosaur munching on the planet Earth. I wonder if this beam is supposed to represent the time scan. It's hard to tell. But, okay, this is our first page of issue 3, and a great example of why I love this comic so much. It harkens back to the card series amazingly well. It's got these bits from newspapers, which, you know, if you know anything about the card series, that's the back of 90% of the cards was bits of newspapers. It's got this radio that comes directly from the card set again, and just really, really good attention to detail. We find a bunch of campers out in the wilderness. Guy separates himself from the rest to take a leak, and suddenly a Tyrannosaurus or something similar, the fingers tell me otherwise, maybe an Allosaurus, whatever, materializes around and inside of him. Neither he nor the dinosaur seem particularly pleased about this, as you can imagine. His friends try to gun the dinosaur down, and while dinosaur tongues apparently are susceptible to bullets, dinosaur skin is not. He's in a bit of suffering here, and his friends do the unthinkable and put a hole in his chest to ease his pain. And the dinosaur goes running off. Well, I got his person stuck in me. What am I going to do now? Now we get to the military. We're going to see more of them in the next issue. But that again was a theme that was constant throughout the card series. Is you get little clips of the United States military and what they're doing to combat the situation. I like this guy here. This one. He's apparently never seen a naked lady before. And his eyes bulging out at that girly magazine. But we're introduced to their commander, who believes that the dinosaurs are more intelligent than anyone's giving them credit for. According to him, they're forming a strategy. They're thinking, which is interesting because they shouldn't be able to do this. The implication isn't so much that these dinosaurs are extremely intelligent, but that there's an intelligent force that is leading or directing them. Very interesting. We'll get into that intelligent force in future issues. But first of all, let's get to an intelligent human being, Dr. Elias Thorne, the one who made this all possible. Thank you, Dr. Elias. He's taking a well-deserved nap. He has a dream kind of flashback back to the death of his brother. His brother, of course, being the biggest influence in his life, both for good and bad. They were great friends. They hung out together. They shared everything. But his brother contracts disease, puts him into this coma state, and eventually he'll die from it. And Elias determines that that there can't be a God. No loving God would allow this to happen. Position that I disagree with, but we'll find out that Elias isn't completely on the right here either, because while we don't prove the existence of God per se in this comic book, we do find definitely some spiritual beings. And so as he's dreaming and recollecting, a sinister shadow overtakes him. Oh no, is he gonna get eaten? What's going on here? It's this guy. Okay, this is the Saurian, I believe it's officially called. He's drawn slightly different than the original trading card, where he had a rounder, more humanoid face, but it's the same character. And he's popping up in a way that's almost designed to terrify our Doctor. You can't see his guy pop up and not be, you know, shaking in your boots. But he explains that he's an emissary from a distant culture that Dr. Elias maintains doesn't exist, that being the spiritual realm. He informs him that the difference between man and dinosaur is that mankind has souls. Man has the ability to choose good or evil. Dinosaurs don't have that. They simply just take care of business. If they see something they want, they eat it. Mankind has the ability to say, yes, I'll do that, no, I won't. Unfortunately, he says there is an evil entity, a force, that wants control of our planet. And Dr. Elias Thorne accidentally gave it access to our world by inventing the time scan. And he's using it to bring his children, the dinosaurs, into our world, to overrun it, to destroy us, to make the world perfect for him and his kind. So Elias wakes up not knowing if it was a dream, a vision, or what, but while he's been unconscious, he's apparently drawn up some interesting plans and schematics, and he rushes in to announce that he's got a better way of dealing with the situation. See, until now, they had a plan that's going to take up to 6 days to reverse everything that's being done to stop time scan's effects, and if that doesn't work, they're going to have to detonate the station with them on it. But he says he's got a better plan, one that will take hours instead of days. But it involves turning time scan itself back on. And obviously, if it works, it's going to be great. We're going to get rid of all the dinosaurs. But if it doesn't, he risks, escalating the situation. We catch up in a newsroom with a character called Goen. He's a reporter. We've seen him since issue 1. He was on the spaceship, but he's returned to Earth. He's going places, I suppose. Sorry, really sorry. Anyway, the rest of the news crew is hightailing it for the hills because there's dinosaurs moving towards them. He says, well, this is exactly what we should be covering. Why are you guys leaving? And they say, well, we have this thing about getting eaten. We don't like it. So he calls them all cowards and kind of forces the crew to follow him. Then we catch up with some kids, including this blonde pigtail girl here. Her name is Alice. She's important to the story only because she's actually the daughter of Dr. Elias Thorne and his ex-wife Helen. So you see them go outside where they're frightened by an approaching figure, but it's just a neighborhood kid who tells them there's dinosaurs roaming around and that he himself has fought off a bunch of them, and they don't quite believe him. Until out of the shadows comes this creepy looking guy here, who grabs the kid and runs. His final fate, well, who knows. He doesn't eat him at the moment. Maybe he's saving him for later. and the children wisely run back indoors. Alright, so this issue is not as important, really, as the last couple, except for the appearance of the Sauron. That's key, really, to the entire miniseries. But it does just have some good images that, again, taken from the card series, but expanded upon. Some nice characterization, and we get next month, and a picture of what the next cover will be. At this point in the miniseries, the story does start to feel a little bit padded, a little bit bloated. But I still think it's definitely worth buying, definitely worth owning, just for the artwork alone. I think the story elements in here could have been, like this issue and the next issue could have been compressed into one probably. But then again, we would have missed out on some of this great dinosaur artwork. So, I'm going to say I'm pleased with how it is with what we've got. So, next month, issue number 4 in a 5-issue miniseries. So we're drawing to a close. Next week, we will be taking a look at issue number 4. Hope you guys stay tuned for that, and hope you all enjoy. Now, before we move on, here's an ad for Danger Girls. Before we move on, before we call it a day, I did a episode recently on Yoda action figures. This one here talks, and I put it out there. If anybody has any questions for Yoda, well, let me know. I did have one question regarding the video game series Destroy All Humans, whether or not there's going to be another game in the series. So let's ask Yoda and find out, shall we?
The Force and its wisdom are all around us. Ask you will a yes or no question. Sense the Force in my left hand. Press it and answer you, I will.
Alright, Yoda, is there going to be a new video game in the Destroy All Humans series?
Yes, I feel this will be.
Oh, well, that's good to know. We look forward to that. And Yoda, I'm curious, how about a movie? That'd be pretty sweet. A Destroy All Humans movie. What do you think?
Simple question you ask. No, I answer.
Oh well. Can't win them all. Alright, guys, so that's been Dinosaurs Attack, issue number 3. We'll catch up with you next week. Until then, keep watching the skies.